What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, if you've been with my channel for a while, then you know the story about how I got into the whole NESARA thing. Somebody told me that there was people posting one of Santa Surfing's blogs, whatever she was doing, and that all these people were noticing that their debt was erased. They were talking about mortgages and student loans and credit cards. And I thought that was interesting because I had a huge student loan and I had automatic withdrawal coming out of the account. All of a sudden, the payments were not going out. I didn't look into it right away. So it was April from April and AJ. She was the one telling me about this thing with Santa Surfing. So as I'm talking to her, I just took a look at my account. I was curious. I was wondering if that had anything to do with why none of the payments were coming out of my account. When I went to where my account was, it said zero. I went to my credit report. It was gone. Well, actually what it did is it said paid in full. It's gone. I did a video and I showed everybody. It was hard for me to get overly excited. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was excited because it was a large amount of money. But what I know about credit reports is sometimes something gets missed. There's a excuse or another why it's not on there. So I decided to call the creditor the next day. We had a conversation. They assured me that the debt was gone. It was over with. So I did a video telling everybody if all these people in Santa Surfing's blog are saying that their debt's gone, I mean, I can only vouch for what I know, and that is my student loan is gone. And I made it as clear as day. I don't know if it's part of the NESARA, call it whatever you want. All I could say is that for some reason, not only was my debt, but my wife's at the time, hers was gone as well. I remember everybody trying to ask us, are we in alphabetical order? Was it by social security number? And the truth is, even to this day, I have no idea what happened. Even after the person confirmed that the debt was gone, we're talking about the government here. The government was holding our debt, and I wasn't sure what the hell was going on. Well, to this day, it's still gone, and so now I don't even question it. So that started me down this NESARA path because people kept talking about it. And if you've been following my channel for a long time, you know I scrutinize everything. I looked into the whole NESARA, and there was all these wackadoodle stories about aliens and St. Jerome's, and I was like, what the heck is all this crap? It just was a turnoff because it sounded so full of crap. It was all kumbaya and everything. But I gave it up for just a brief moment, then went back to do more research. And I found a list. To me, this is more grounded. It's more realistic. And what I did is I started making videos trying to prove as many of them as possible. And I was able to prove a huge chunk of these. And I said, I don't know if this is necessarily NESARA, Debt Jubilee, call it what you want. But a big chunk of these were already in process or in the beginning stages. So it was nice to see this. I was hoping that it was something real and it was going to happen. But everybody just kept pushing the name, NESARA. I said, look, I mean, what's more important, that they use the name or if the debt's gone? To me, all these bullet points were extremely way more important than what you called it. I remember people reaching out to me saying, hey, what do you think? I just stopped paying off my credit card debt. I stopped paying off my mortgage debt. I was like, no, don't do that. Who told you to do that? Don't do that. That might backfire on you. If they call NESARA, then great, but don't start doing things like that. I even had people telling me that they wanted to buy the most expensive house they could possibly get, knowing that sooner or later NESARA would be called and they would get the house for free. Oh man, I can't tell how many times I told people, do not do that. I didn't encourage that. I didn't think it was a good idea. And I knew that people would get themselves in trouble if they did that, because there's no proof that a NESARA was necessarily going to happen. Not the way that a lot of these wackadoodles out there were talking about it. To me, they were way out in left field. So my approach to NESARA was way different than other people's. What I was doing was going down the list, trying to prove all the things that I could. I never went around telling people that their debt was going to get forgiven or anything. I understand that was being talked about, but I said there was no proof of it. But I did see a lot of interesting results of people who've had their debts paid off. I mean, people have shown me proof. Credit cards, mortgages, student loans, and why it was happening, I have no idea. Seriously, there was no way to explain it. So I told people, you can say whatever you want. Maybe it isn't NESARA, but there was no way to prove it. And I said, it could be another form of debt jubilee. Who knows why certain people had their debts paid off and other people's didn't? I have no idea. But my concern was people were under the impression that this NESARA thing was going to happen, that it was definitely going to happen. And they were being told it was going to happen at any time. And people did stop paying their mortgages, and it came back to haunt them. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, now is the time to buy. Head on over to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So here we go. This was what I was concerned about when I had people sending me private messages telling me that this is what they're going to do. They're going to stop paying their debts. And I was saying, don't do that. There is no proof of a NESARA. When I did NESARA videos, what I said was, hey, I found that this particular thing was true. I found that this particular thing was true, but I sure the hell never encouraged anybody to accumulate more debt or not to pay their debts. Anyways, conspiracy theory about New World Order won't save Vancouver home from foreclosure, a judge rules. Karen Liu claimed her mortgage debt was forgiven because of a non-existing law called NESARA. This article just came out yesterday. According to the people who believe NESARA conspiracy theory, new global currencies are being introduced, backed by gold. Well, yeah, that I don't know about new currencies, but I think you're starting to see countries back their currencies. When Karen Liu told a BC judge that her mortgage debt had been completely forgiven, she invoked a 2-decade-old conspiracy theory about a new world order that has recently resurfaced. According to the recent BC Supreme Court ruling, Liu appealed a foreclosure order on her Vancouver home on the basis that something called NESARA had been enacted and all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt would be wiped out in a jubilee of forgiveness. She described it as pending New World Order that has its roots in the United States NESARA, but has evoked a global movement, GESARA, to which many countries are signatory, including Canada's Justice Matthews wrote in her decision. She asserted that it involves resignations of world leaders, new currencies that would be backed by gold, a more harmonious and peaceful world where the enslavement qualities of debt would be abolished. Believers in the theory claim that NESARA, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, was secretly passed by Congress in 2000 and set to be announced on September 11, 2001. The theory is that all evidence was destroyed when a shadowy cabal of world leaders arranged for the attack on the World Trade Center in New York. Yeah, I heard that story. It's the most wackadoodle thing ever. GESARA, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, is supposedly the worldwide version of the law. Of course, none of this is true, and law's argument had no effect in court. I have not accepted that NESARA is part of the Canadian legal landscape. I do not accept that Ms. Liu has proven that there is a new world order pending that will end foreclosure proceeding, Ms. Matthews said. The judge upheld an order granting conduct of the sale of Liu's home in the Bank of Montreal and ordered her to pay costs to the bank, as well as the second mortgage holder. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. I know there's a lot of people out there telling you that this thing is coming for sure and they would give you dates and stuff. I told people there's nothing out there that proves that any type of announcement is coming. What I said was keep paying your bills, and if it comes, Then good, congratulations. Illuminati blamed for a supposed cover-up. Phony legal theories based on fanciful interpretation of the law have seen a resurgence since the RONA pandemic began, but this appears to be the first BC court decision in a NESARA argument that has been posted publicly. NESARA was a real proposal for a bill created by an American man named Harvey F. Bernard, who laid out his ideas in the 1996 book entitled Draining the Swamp, Monetary and Fiscal Policy Reform. People like Lou claim that NESARA has been law for more than 20 years, followed by international implementation of NESARA. According to the website NESARA News, which Lou relied upon to make her argument in court, former U.S. President Bill Clinton signed NESARA into law at gunpoint, but he supposedly knew full well that the Illuminati were in charge and that this law was never to be enforced. Okay, first of all, I told people so many times, anybody signing any kind of contract whatsoever at gunpoint, that's considered under distress. It becomes void. Even if it was true. I don't believe it was true, but even if it was, and word got out, the contract would be no good. It goes on to say that on September 11th, attacks destroyed all the computers and data related to the trillions of dollars in prosperity funds that were supposed to be returned to the debtors across the country. Since then, the theory goes, all public officials, police, judges, journalists, and anyone else who knows NESARA has been subject to a gag order preventing them from exposing the existence of this supposed new order. Man, this is how crazy this thing has gotten out of hand to where this actually showed up in a public court. It's not mentioned in the court ruling, but the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, a BC-based QAnon conspiracy influencer named Ramona DiBablos, whatever, has announced on Telegram that she is rolling out the NESARA in Canada. Yeah, I told you guys there's some wackadoodles out there, man. If it ain't Russell J. Full, then it's somebody like this Ramona people, or if it's that Mark Christopher, man, these people are out in left field. You know, we need to do something about mental health because it's way out there. Lou, who represented herself in court, claimed that the balance of her mortgage was a zero as of February 8th because of NESARA, the ruling says. But she didn't present any evidence of that in court, or that NESARA or NESARA had actually been implemented in Canada or BC. According to the BC assessment, Lou's home, and there's the address, was valued at $1.7 million. Yikes. And she purchased it for $400,000. An order of foreclosure for the property was granted by the BC Supreme Court, Master Kimberly Robinson, this spring, after the deadline to redeem the $209,721 bank mortgage debt had passed according to the ruling. Apart from arguing that her mortgage debts had been forgiven, Lou also claimed that her appeal that Robinson was biased when she ordered the foreclosure. She submitted that Master Robertson became a master because she knew that her law firm's foreclosure practice would be ending when all mortgages and other debts were forgiven, the ruling says. That doesn't help her. Matthews found there was no merit to the claim. So this lady said that the ruling is no good because only became a master because she knew that NESARA would end her mortgage business. That is crazy. So look, this is what I'm talking about, you guys. When I did the videos, I spoke about the subjects, but I was very careful when I did so. I told you, I can't tell you how many people have walked off the ledge because of those other wackadoodles out there in YouTube. Those guys out there running those fantasy stories to people. I would only post things that I can definitely prove, and that was it. Other than that, I sure to hell wouldn't tell people not to pay their debt. I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and I said, don't fall for that. And this is exactly why you guys got to be careful. Now, I'm not saying a jet jubilee won't be possible. I mean, it's being talked about. But until they make an official announcement, don't assume anything. Don't assume any of your debt is going to get paid off. Don't assume that you can go out and buy something more expensive and not have to worry about the payments later down the line, because it could ruin your future, especially your credit score, you guys. So just be careful about that. Let them make the announcement if it's going to happen. All right. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that you got to be careful about all those crazy YouTubers out there making these types of promises. All right. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you guys think down below. I look forward to your comments. But for now, I'm out.